Oh, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to my last week of grad school. It feels really crazy to be here. It is about 7:40 in the morning, and I'm outside my kids' school. We just walked, so it's about a zero point 0.8 mile each way, and I've been wanting to walk for a long time just to get that kind of movement in before 8 a.m. would feel really good. And we did it once already last week on the first day of school, but then we drove for a couple days. And I'll be honest, it was a little bit of a rough walk today. There was some sibling tension. My kindergartner is it's a slower, and we left, I thought, in plenty of time, but we got here just in time. So it's like leaving 5 minutes later than I wanted to actually cost us like 10 minutes, it felt like, instead of just five. I don't know. Anyway, if we haven't met yet, my name's Tiffany. I have been vlogging my grad school experience over the last 3 years, believe it or not. I'm also a mom of four, have a wonderful husband, and I just kind of share my journey and what it's been like completing a master's in mental health counseling as a parent to four kids. And so we're back in the school swing, and I'm just going to kind of take you along for my last week. Thanks for being here. So we are not off to the smoothest start. One of my big goals today is to meal prep, because as I take you along this week, you will see that it is an absolutely chaotic, insane, busy week. And I really want to use today to set the family up for success, to do meal prep so that we don't have to stress about that. But when I placed the Kroger order, it said it didn't have my turkey tenderloins, my turkey breast tenderloins that I was going to use for meal prep. And so I thought, no problem, I'll just run into the store. And they didn't have them in the store either. And I am very particular about this particular cut of meat with turkey. And so I've tried other ones and I haven't liked it nearly as much. So I'm off to Meijer to see if they have it. I do not have time for this. Yay, they have it. They have it. They have it. All right, so given the chaos of the morning and having to do some extra runs to get the turkey that I wanted to make, I'm not going to film, I don't think, the whole meal prep, but I wanted to share with you the fun story of my giant new cutting board. So first of all, this is hilarious because I had thought I would be able to slide it out. Here, I'll move the camera in a minute, but I thought I would be able to slide it right here, but as you can see, I just rammed up against this cabinet. Now I can still open it, which is good, but it hangs over kind of far. This cutting board is giant, and there's not really a good place to keep it, but I love it, so we're making it work. So this is it, how I just had it. Most of the time I've been keeping it like this, just because it's a little less obtrusive into the counter, and if I keep it a little bit, I could still open the cabinet most of the way. So I don't know if you really care about this, but I wanted to show it. But what was really funny about this board is this is the board I've wanted it for a while, and I even thought about asking for it for my birthday. And it's by Teak House, and it's the extra large one that America's Test Kitchen recommends and has for a long time. And so I was just like, I want a nice big board. I do so much meal prep, I deserve that, right? And then I found out that Costco sometimes carries these. This was like a week or two ago. I looked online on a Thursday night and they did not have any, or maybe it was a Wednesday night. They didn't have any online or anything. And I was like, oh, bummer. And so I asked in one of my online groups if they had ever seen these there, if they knew what time of year they had them, all of that. And several people replied that they had been there that morning on like a Thursday and that they were there. And I was like, what? And so this was like Friday by this time. And so I ran to Costco on Friday, like basically 24 hours after I had thought they didn't have them, and they had them. So I was so excited. So that's my new kitchen excitement. The things I get most excited about, I love like kitchen gear and stuff like that. So that's my new excitement. And what I am most excited to try out today with this board, let me show you here. I'm going to pull up my recipe. Okay, so this is my Kindle app because I have a digital version of this book. And look, the cutting board has a spot for a tablet so that as I go through my meal prep, I can just have it all right there while I'm chop-a-lopping. And it's also reversible, so it just has like the juice grooves on the other side. So here's what I'm going to be doing today. I've shown videos of this before, which is why I don't think I'll do too much. But it's those turkey breast tenderloins, potatoes. I usually don't do too many tomatoes because we just buy a soup instead. But you get all of those things and basically turn it in to 3 dinners, including these sandwiches and tomato soup, this buffalo turkey casserole, although I do it barbecue and ranch, and and then this turkey sheet pan pizza dinner. And so that's what I'm going to be working on today. All right, meal prep is about done, so I'll kind of show you the fruits of my labor here. All right, so the 3 dinners that we have here, this is a potato, turkey, bacon casserole. So the turkey is tossed in homemade ranch dressing, which I have extra of right here. It's just 3 ingredients: mayo, dill, and lemon juice. Super simple. So that is totally ready to go. This is also, I think, pretty much ready to go. This is potato, bell peppers, mushrooms, and the turkey is under there just plain, and put on some pepperoni. And I'm going to cover this with foil. This is the same pan that I roasted all of the potatoes on, so I get to kind of, save a dish there. This is bacon from here, that I used on there, and I made this all on the griddle, so we have extra just for snacking. Then this is extra cut up turkey that the kids like to snack on. Some of them won't eat these, but they will eat this. This is sliced thin turkey for sandwiches, and I have more of this in the freezer that I'm going to pull out for the weekend. So I'm going to freeze this too, and then pull it out for Saturday or Sunday, I think. And then this is just some extra cut up bell pepper that we can have to snack on. I started this at about 9:35-ish, and that's the time now. So that's how long it took. That was with some breaks. Like taking it easy, sitting down between steps to instead of working on the next step. So it can be done. I feel like I've done it in an hour before, just depending on kind of how things are going. So I feel really good about this. And this may be really silly, but a trick I thought of when I started making this is instead of putting the lid on this way that goes with this casserole dish, I actually do it inverted. Even though it gets the handle dirty, I can then stack other things on top and save a lot of space in the fridge. I'll show you how this all fits in my fridge. So that's the sheet pan up there. Normally I do the sheet pan first thing, which is usually Monday nights, but my mother-in-law is actually bringing dinner tonight. So I'm going to make that tomorrow, and I put some foil over it, and it sits right on top, just perfect in there. And then the rest of it, here's the casserole, the sliced peppers, the cubed turkey. I also made a bunch of hard-boiled eggs for grab and go. Then those naan back there, the kids don't always like that sheet pan meal, so those are little mini pizzas that they can make. stick them in the air fryer or whatever, and it's still kind of the similar ingredients that they can use, kind of similar flavors. And so the kids will do that. And then the turkey slices I threw in the fridge. I'm going to go ahead and show you my messy kitchen too, just to keep things real. So I got this new griddle. This is what I cooked the bacon on. I need to wash that. I scooped a lot of the grease and actually just strained it into that jar because I will use that. And then in the sink here, we have the air fryer, which is how I cooked the mushrooms. Certainly don't have to do it that way. A casserole dish, and that is what I used to take the turkey out to the grill. Then I washed it, and then I brought the turkey back in from the grill on there. This is the bowl from tossing the turkey in the ranch. The bowls are left over from breakfast. We just have my bacon I still need to put away. And then the cutting board to wash, and just some packages of things to put back in the fridge. So now I have about 2 hours to just chill, which is wonderful. And then I have to pick up 2 of my 3 elementary school kids to take them to speech therapy. And my mother-in-law is picking up the 3rd. Then I work this evening teaching my childbirth class. So my mother-in-law is going to bring dinner tonight, and then tomorrow we'll do that sheet pan dinner. Wednesday is the casserole. That's just throw it in the oven. Thursday we were gonna do the turkey sandwiches, but then we found out there was a fundraiser for my kids' school at Chipotle, and most weeks, like every other week usually, we do Chipotle on Thursday nights anyways after tumbling. So we're just going to keep with that. It's my son's birthday, and he said he would like Chipotle. He originally asked for the turkey sandwiches, but then he said, can we have both? I said, not on the same day. But he said, okay, and then said, could we have the turkey sandwiches on the weekend? And I said, yes. Oh, shoot. And then the other thing I was going to do, I might still do this. If you watch my other vlogs, you saw me make an ice cream cake a couple weeks ago, and everybody loved it, and my son asked for it for his birthday again. And so I already made the ice cream, but I should probably today bake the brownie layer, because today's my best day to do that. So not quite done in the kitchen yet. Well, good morning. Happy Tuesday. I feel like I have been in the car in lines for a long time, and that's probably because I have been. There was a line at Starbucks, which isn't always the case, but the good news is we've got pumpkin spice back, so that's good. I also picked up a bagel, and I've got a nice leisurely start to the morning otherwise, in terms of getting to my site. I have class at 10. It's 8:20 right now, so I have class at 10 that I have to be at the office for, because then I have an 11:30, a 12:30 appointment in the office, and then I take a break to pick up the kids from school, and then I actually go back to the office for 2 visits at like 3:45 and 4:45, which is not something I normally do a lot of. However, this week is overwhelming in that regard, because it's my last week and I have 15 visits scheduled this week. I think the most I've ever done in a week is 12. And I've been feeling really overwhelmed by it because I'm working later than I normally do. I'm trying to squeeze everybody in who wants one last appointment in my internship. I can't remember if I've explained this or not yet, but I have this interesting situation where I'm returning to my site as a counselor once my license comes in. But I have some unique circumstances that prevent me from being able to see clients from after the day I graduate until my license comes in, which is probably going to be possibly, I'm hoping, sometime in early October. So I have this forced, like, indeterminate length break. So I'm, trying to fit everybody in this week, and 15 in a week is a lot for me. I want, once I return and I'm not doing school anymore, I want about 12 to 15 per week. But during school, it's mostly been 8 to 10 visits a week. So this feels like kind of a bump up, and it feels like kind of a lot. So I've been really nervous about this week, and at the same time really wanting to just slow down and stay present and enjoy my last week of grad school, because it's been such a really meaningful experience and meaningful time in my life. So that's where we're at. So come along for that, because Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are bananas. And you'll get to see it all. I invite you to view this door for the last time, because we are getting a whole new one installed today. This one has been broken for a long time, but we used to have that thing up there and just keep it open. And we had to have it taken off for measurements recently. For weeks now, we have just been like dealing with this annoying door. And then I'm on the other side here. And then this door behind me has had a broken lock for years. We can still lock it, but not the way we would like. We finally have replaced the door, and it's getting installed this afternoon between 3 and 6 p.m. when I am doing my later visits. So very excited for that. That feels surreal, and I just signed off from my last Tuesday class ever, this program. So yeah, and unfortunately, not unfortunately, I'm excited to see this client, but I've got a client right now, so I don't have like any time to just like kind of sit with this for a minute. All right, well, since last we talked, I think I was signing out of class and I had 2 visits that I had to jump right into. And then I left and picked up the kids from school, met the door installer. I mentioned how we were getting a new door installed. And unfortunately, it's a very difficult door and dimensions. And the measurements weren't wrong, but the materials were, and it's a 100-year-old house, so it's very difficult to do these types of things. So today I found out was more about the installer actually seeing what they had and what they needed. And because they didn't have what they needed, they're going to come back to install it another day. So there was that. Then my husband got home and I left and came back to the office, and I have 2 more visits, and we'll be here till about 6 o'clock, I think. And then I'll head home. So it's a busy day. Despite my desire to walk the kids to school as much as possible, particularly on Mondays and Wednesdays, today being Wednesday, just didn't happen this morning. It's hard. The 5-year-old is not really ready to be awake. There was other distress going on, so I'm still gonna keep trying for it because it is possible. But anyways, the reason I'm saying all that is I haven't walked yet and I'm dragging a bit. It's like 9:15. My client visit is at 10, so I'm just gonna take a short walk around the neighborhood and try to get some endorphins. Won't be much, but it'll be something. Something's better than nothing. Let me tell you, that 20-minute walk was so good for my body and my soul. This walk in particular, I'll try to link it or show a picture of it. It's from 2021. It's a Peloton, Rebecca Kennedy, an 80s walk. Every single time, I do this a lot. Every single time it lifts my spirits so much, and I haven't done it in a while. And actually on Monday, I was trying to decide between listening to my audiobook or doing this walk, and I tried to find it and I couldn't, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's not bookmarked anymore. They must have taken it off. Luckily, I looked again today and it was still there, but it makes me feel like I should record it on some other way just to have it, because I don't ever want to lose that walk, because It is like, for me, the definition of pure joy. So I'm feeling a lot better, and I still even have like 20 minutes before my first visit of the day. So there was more time than I thought to get things done today.
I don't know what longitude and latitude is.
Oh.
She gave us an assignment on it.
Well, you'll probably find out soon then.
So I'm going to get an F.
Oh, I doubt that. All right, y'all. I am exhausted, so I don't remember what my last clip was. I had 3 visits during the day. Then I went and picked the kids up from school, and then I had to go back into work. And what happened? I was about to walk into my office when I thought I heard people in there, and realized that even though I had put it on the calendar that I was going to be in there after 3, because usually the person leaves at 3, I had a 3 o'clock appointment that had already started. So I had somebody coming shortly after, and luckily one of the other offices was open. And this was after an incredibly stressful call I got from school that I had some form I had to fill out for graduation that I thought I already did, and the directions were wrong on how to do it. It was incredibly frustrating. You're really not happy about this. So I was in a very bad mood. Visits went well though. And then when I left, I felt a little better. I thought I was going to skip out on the info nights for back to school because I just really didn't care. But I did come. I went to both of them. By the end of this last one, I was pretty ready to leave, but I did it. So now I'm just going to go back home and eat and hopefully sleep. Oh my gosh. I'm so tired. If you watched one of my recent vlogs where I made the ice cream cake, we had a request to make it again for my son's birthday, which is tomorrow. And you might remember me struggling to get the brownie out of this pan. I remembered the parchment paper this time. Oh my gosh. That was a lot better. So, lesson learned. Use parchment paper. Oh goodness, I'm about to wrap up a work day here. Still have, family life going on. I think it's about 1 o'clock. I had a busy day. I had supervision starting bright and early at 8 a.m. and then 4 counseling appointments. So I had 5 things back to back. I really try to take a half-hour break after 3 counseling appointments. Definitely after 4 is like the most I try to do. Today I had 5, but that first was supervision, which is a little more relaxed. So, it wasn't too much, but I try to schedule a break, and today I didn't really have much of that. So I'm going to wrap up work, pick up the kids from school, and I don't have to work anymore tonight, but my kids do have their tumbling, and we're getting Chipotle for dinner, and it's kind of a normal Thursday night, but Thursday nights are busy, so it's still going to be busy. Okay.
Animal.
Well, good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to my last day of grad school. I am actually kind of unexpectedly tearful this morning, although it shouldn't be that unexpected, really. But for some reason the week was just so busy. I thought, I'm gonna be fine. And then this morning hit, and I'm like, wait, this is it. And I was driving my husband to work this morning, and it was nice to have a few minutes to talk to him without the kids around. And, he wisely said, like, even if it had been a really bad experience, endings are hard, but the fact is that this wasn't a bad experience. It was a really wonderful experience. So this is it. This is the last day. I ended up having to drive my husband to work, like I said, because fortunately he's fine, but he was in a car accident yesterday. We're gonna be one car for a while. I don't know if we'll end up with a rental or not. Honestly though, with my break coming up, I can take him and pick him up from work every day if needed, so we might just go one car for a bit. But yeah, I had to take him to school, which did mean we had to get everybody out of the house even earlier than we already do, which is already a struggle. So that's probably the hardest part. Right now I am headed into the office. I'll be about an hour early, so I'll just have time to kind of, I don't know what I'll do, read or just kind of hang out. And then I go to my Friday morning 2-hour supervision class, and then I have 2 visits. So it's a pretty calm day compared to the rest of this week. The only thing I wish, I'm really glad to see these clients. I wish I had a little more space between the class and the clients, just in case I'm like emotional again after my last class. I'm gonna have to like hold it all together until after I see the clients, or like get it all out before or early in class. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. So happy Friday. Let's wrap this thing up. All right, for those of you who have been following along the saga of whether or not I get to go to this makeup class for this Friday morning class that I'm about to do the last one of, and I have to be there because I've missed 2 and only been able to make up 1, so I've had my 1 miss for the quarter. Hopefully no like zombie apocalypse happens that prevents me from getting to this class in 5 minutes. Hopefully the instructor will be there as planned. I have my plug-in for my computer, so I tried to disaster plan this as much as possible before. So fingers crossed, about to log on here in a few minutes. All right, I'm in, so I think hopefully we'll be good.
Grad school has challenged me, changed me, and connected me in ways I'll never forget. The books close, the lights dim, and this chapter comes to an end. Here's to honoring the journey and stepping into whatever comes next.